Hello, today we're going to go over how to make a different type of ring using a faceted stone instead of a cabochon this time. We're going to be using 4 square 22 gauge wire. Again, you're going to need about 5 to 6 inches depending on the size of ring that you're going to want. So clip those 4 base wires first. Then you are also going to need a long piece of 22 gauge half round wire, probably about 2.5 feet. Give that a clip. First step is to line up your 4 square wires. Make sure that they are even at the tops so that you can find the middle of all of them. You can slide them, pull them nice and straight, make sure that they're not all crazy. And then you're going to take your half round wire and bend it in half with the flat side facing in. Sorry, my desk decoration skull decided that it needed to take a bite of the wire and got it snagged on a tooth. So find your half and pick up your bundle. Make sure it is a stack and not a bundle. And then find your midway point. If it's not perfectly centered, that is okay, but as close as you can get to halfway. That's nowhere near my halfway mark, that's better. And then hold one side of the wire down and start wrapping. Hang on, let me adjust where my camera is a little bit because this is not going to work with the height that I had it at. There we go. That should make it easier. Okay, so as you're going, you're keeping your wires nice and close together. You don't want to wrap too loose or too tight, because if it's too tight, it'll turn your stack into a bundle, and that is the opposite of what you want in a ring. As soon as it starts turning into a bundle, it makes the band really uncomfortable, so I need to unwrap that one because I did make it a bit too tight there. Pinch it to flatten them back out, and then continue wrapping, making sure that you're keeping the square flat side of your wire facing the flat sides of your wire. When you have to unwrap things like I just did, sometimes they'll get a little wonky. So pinch them together, keep everything nice and tight, keep your flat parts together, and go ahead and continue to wrap. Depending on how big you want your ring to be is going to be determined by how long you wrap for. Remember that this is half of the ring band that you are wrapping currently, so do not go too crazy. Oops, that got a little too tight there. I can flatten all these out a bit. Slide them together and continue on your merry way. I'm gonna say that that is a great stopping point for my halfway. I'm not going to clip this wire off. I'm going to just press them down again like I did. And then I'm going to start doing the same thing on the other side. And you're going to wrap until the sides are even. It's easy to tell with this because your wrapping wires will be the same length when they are the same length. Sorry, that was confusing. The wrapping wire tail will be the same length as the other wrapping wire tail when the wraps are the same length. If there was any confusion as to what my wording was trying to convey. Okay, we've got these pinched back together. We'll flatten them out a bit. Doing this just helps make sure that the ring doesn't have any snags and that it's comfortable to wear. Got about 2 more wraps and then I will be even. Okay. Now, I'm hoping that you have a ring mandrel sitting nearby ready to go. If you don't, that's totally fine. If you know the ring size, you can always utilize Google to look at the diameter for the ring that you will need, and you'll need to stop a little bit shy of where that would be. Okay, so this is going to come out to be about a 7.5, which is great. Okay, so then turn it into a horseshoe shape because we aren't quite ready to turn it into a ring yet. So then take your outermost center pieces and bend them straight out to the side at a 90-degree angle from your band. Okay. Sorry, the snow just shed off of my roof and scared me. And then do the same thing on the other side, bending your wires straight out at a 90-degree angle. Do them individually. If you bend them at the same time, you're going to get not quite as sharp of a bend as you're going to want. Okay? So there we go. We've got this Star Wars ship sort of shape. Okay, now that you've got that, take it back to your mandrel. Make sure that we've got a nice round piece. Okay, and then you're going to take these wires that you've got left, kind of give it a little bit of a turn, and you're going to wrap these bundles on the side 3 times, okay? Stopping with the wire on the top, so on the outside of the ring. Give it a clip, pinch it down, and slide it as tight as you can. And then do the same thing on the other side. A little twist because we're going in a different direction than the wire was wanting to in the first place. 1, 2, stop on the third. Give it a clip with the wire sticking out over the top. You want it to not go past all of your bundle, but you also want it to have a very secure connection, so it'll be like that. Okay. Then you'll take your faceted stone and stick the point of it in this little gap that you have created here in the middle. Okay? So it'll be like that. Cool? Cool. So then you'll take your middle wire, one of the middle wires, depending on which side you're working on, and you will bend it up and over the table of your stone. Hang on, we can do something that'll help a little bit. Take this bundle, give it a little bit of an angle so that you have more of a cradle and less of a table. Okay? So it'll look more like that. Okay? Looks like this. Okay? And put your stone back in there. That looks a lot better. It looks like it'll be a lot happier. Then, as I was saying before, take the first wire from the middle. You can take left or right, depending on which way you prefer to work. And you're going to go over the table of the stone, like so. And you're going to go down, like this. Shove it through the band. Come up and around so that it's like that. And give it a clip before it goes past the initial wire, but it has enough of a tail to grab your ring. So now it looks like this. It's attached. Okay. So now you have a choice. You can either do the same thing with this one, or you can start overlapping. I'm going to do both of these sides so that I know which side is going in which direction. So finish that out. Wrap that all the way around just like you did on the other side. And give it a pinch. Or a clip. And then a pinch. Okay. So you've got this happening now. So now you can kind of decide whether you want to alternate, kind of make it like a braided pattern on the sides and go do these ones over. I don't want to do that today. I want to have it a little bit more streamlined, I guess would be a good term for it. So take the same one on the outside here and wrap it down and around the band, push it through, and then give it a clip, making sure that you don't wrap it over the top of the previous wire. You want them next to each other. You don't want them getting wound up or anything like that, because then you're going to have a high point on the inside of the band, which is not comfortable to wear. So now you've got two on that side, one on this side. Go ahead and do the last one on this side. Bend it down around. Make sure that you don't overlap on the inside. Wrap it all the way around. Clip it so that it can grab but doesn't stick past the end. And pin it down. So now we've got this. And I bet you can figure out what we're going to do next. We're going to do the other side. We are going to do the exact same thing. So we're going to go down around, making sure that we're not overlapping inside the band. We want these all next to each other. We don't want them overlapped. Push it through the band, up and around, give it a clip, pin it in. I like to go back and forth doing both sides, so I'm going to do it over here now. It just helps keep things balanced, make sure the stone doesn't get wobbly at all, and it's exactly where you want it to be. Okay, make sure that we didn't overlap anything. Give it a full wrap, clip it, and pin it down. I'm gonna go see why my dog is barking. I will be right. Okay, now that the dog has been appeased, we are at this step. We have 2 wires left to pin in, and so we're gonna take the one on the, doesn't really matter, you can pick left or right, wrap it around just like you have with the other wires, clip it, pin it. And finally the very last wire, bend it, wrap it, clip it, pin it. Okay, and you can slide it onto your ring mandrel, shape it as best you can into the shape of a ring, because things tend to get a little wobbly while you're prying and bending. And there you have it. We have successfully set a faceted stone in this ring. My band got a little wonky over here because I was trying to go fast for this tutorial. Make sure you take your time and slide things into where they need to be and keep them straight. Alright, if you enjoyed this tutorial, please like and subscribe if you want to see more, and have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.